Hey all, welcome back to SJGames Live. I'm Hunter, and it's another week. We got some new stuff to look at. This week we're looking at a campaign that's active right now, the Random Fun Generator. This is a book of over 20 dice games. We'll be linking that in the comments as well. You can find it on our social media platforms, but it's a book of over 20 dice games. It's a campaign that's only going on this week. I'm going to show you some of the stuff that you can get in the campaign, as well as we're going to flip through the book. This is the book itself. I'll go through it in just a sec, but so you can kind of see the cover here. We got art by Lynn Peralta. If you've checked out any of our Munchkin guest artist editions, he did work on some of our guest artist editions. He's done work on stuff like Super Kitty Bug Slap, other games that we've done. I believe he did the Bill and Ted board game, and I think he did the art to, it wasn't Scarf and Barf. That was Lar D'Souza. I think he might have done it to an upcoming game that we haven't announced. That's where it was. I need to remember that. So we'll talk about that soon. But let's take a look at some of the dice. So in addition to this book, the book is the real new thing, but we got some dice as well that we're going to be taking a look at. And these are actually, some of these have been available before, some haven't, but I'm going to show off some of the games here. And these are going to be available as add-ons and stretch goals. So like we've got Texas Roll'em. Technically it's been available, but it hasn't been... it's a lot newer than some of the other stuff. We've got a set of D6 dice, and the reason why these are all involved with the campaign is because all you need to play with no random fun generator is dice. So you can use any set of dice. So any of these D6 dice will work with the book. So we're including a lot of those as stretch goals and as different pledge rewards. You can do a few different tiers. We do if you just want the book, there is a just the book. But in addition to that, there's multiple pledge tiers, like the $42 tier, where you get multiple games, like La Boom, and others, so like La Boom here. So technically La Boom is a special dice, though, but this works with a random fun generator because it's a dice that tells you who gets to go first. So La Boom is a really fun little pocket game. You can use it for anything. It's a quick game itself, but the best way to use La Boom, and I will stand by this until I die, is to figure out who first player is. I've used it for that all the time. We've got the Halloween dice, which are very in season. This is one of my favorite sets of dice. This is one of those interesting sets that has been floating around the office for years. We've had prototypes of the Halloween dice in the office for a really long time, but there wasn't the games that went along with it were very much not, they weren't finished, and we just never released them. And I was always like, man, why? I wish I could just get these dice. They're really cool looking. They've got jack-o'-lanterns on them and stuff, and I love the colors. They're the orange and black and the white look really good. And we just couldn't. I was just like, oh, man, I just want to buy these. And then finally, we're like, oh, we'll just release them as dice because they look really cool. So now you can buy them. You can get them as part of the campaign as well. You got Gelatinous, which is really perfect for Random Fun Generator. It comes with tons of D6 dice. Honestly, if you get Random Fun Generator and one set of Gelatinous, you've got probably enough dice for most of the games. It comes with a load of dice, 42 green dice, and they're kind of green and sparkly. I've actually got a couple here loose. Knocked everything down, but these are the sparkly dice. They're really nice. They're also kind of mini dice, so you can store them really easily. And it comes with a dice bag as well. So Gelatinous plus Random Fun Generator is really awesome. I got some of the smaller dice sets. We've got the metallic purple dice here, and we've got the metallic silver dice. In addition to the Easter dice. Now these are interesting as well. Obviously with the whole quarantine and stuff happening around that time of year, it actually started around when Easter was happening. The Easter dice got a little bit delayed, so this is one of the first ways. I mean, they've been available a little bit, but if you missed out on these are like pastel colored dice with eggs as the numbers. It's a really good way of getting those. We got some new dice as well. The Hex D6 dice set. These can function as regular standard D6 dice, but they also function for the fantasy trip. They've actually got hex icons on the dice themselves, so you can use them to generate things on a hex map for the fantasy trip. It's very, very useful. All that stuff is available. You've also got some coasters that we just added today. If you the metallic dice are not metal. Just to sorry about that. Yeah, the metallic dice. I say metallic. It's got like a metallic sheen to it. It's a metallic color. It's not actually metal dice. We don't have any metal dice on this campaign. Because we did make some metal dice, but they were very limited quantity. I believe they might still be available in Warehouse 23, but I'm not 100% sure anymore. All the dice in this campaign are just our normal plastic or resin materials. We also have coasters that we just added today. I wanted to mention we have a $50,000 stretch goal to add coasters. We're getting really close. I think we're maybe $5,000 away. We might be even closer than that now. And it adds, if you checked out our last campaign that we ran, we did a coaster set. This is similar to that, but it's actually 2 new coasters that go more along with the games that are involved in this campaign. So a couple other games that are in there we checked out recently, like Zombie Dice Horde Edition, is involved in the campaign, and one of the coasters is actually a score pad. I don't have a coaster to show you here, unfortunately, because the coasters are not printed, obviously. They are a stretch goal, but there's a Zombie Dice score pad, which is pretty useful. You can use it to mark. You can mark off on it, or you can just put peanuts on it if you're at a bar. You can also use... there's also a gelatinous coaster, which actually is a play surface to put your gelatinous cube on. So that's really cool. But yeah, all these things, and so, a few more if you want to check that campaign out, those are all available. But now we're going to actually flip through the book itself and give you an idea. Because I know a lot of people in the campaign have asked, what kind of games are we getting in the book? So this is the book itself. We're going to flip to the overhead here, just so you can kind of see what it looks like. It is spiral bound. Which is very useful as a rule book, since you can actually, like, okay, we're playing X game, we're going to flip to that page and just keep it on this page. I know with regular rule books, with a regular like board game rule book, it's not a big deal. But for a thicker book like this, you'll break that spine really easily. So we made it to where you can just flip to it and stay on it. It's got a nice glossy cover here. Again, that really awesome art. It's very cute, kind of like steampunky. Random fun generator. And I'm not going to stay on all the games. We're not going to I'll show off each of the things, but we're not going to stay on all the rules for all of them. You can kind of get an idea of the stuff. Got a foreword here that talks. This is from Sam, one of the co-designers of the book itself. Contents of all the games. A lot of these games, and there's a variety of stuff in here. It's not just one style of game, but you'll notice there's sometimes some thematic similarities between some things, and generally this is greater rolled ones. It's got a Yahtzee-ish Cthulhu dice spin to it to a degree. You're rolling a set. It's almost kind of like a zombie dice feel to it too, where you're kind of pushing your luck. You're essentially rolling a set amount of dice and deciding if you want to lock dice or keep rolling them. Now, I haven't read through every rule in this game. I'm not going to be able to give an in-depth review of everything necessarily, but this one particularly, you essentially have a set amount of dice, and you're rolling dice, and you're having to lock them or keep rolling, and there's a chance that you essentially bust if you roll too many ones. You've lost your mind essentially. So it's got like a Cthulhu theme to it. Got bouquet. In this one, you're rolling dice and you're locking in different values. Instead of locking in amounts of dice, you'll roll a set amount of dice and lock in values, and you're essentially making flower bouquets out of it. Each of them, again, they've got different themes and stuff going on, with art accompanying them. I think we have art for all of them. This one I don't actually remember the rules to, but swap opportunity. Oh, this is the one where you're swapping the dice, swapping the values on them. I can't review all of them super in depth. This was one of the ones I was really interested in, though. Little Fish. This is actually a private game where you keep your dice secret. So you'll have you can keep them in a cup or roll the dice maybe behind your hand or something like that. And you keep them secret from everyone else, and you get 2 rerolls, and then everyone reveals their dice at the same time, and whatever the highest value among dice is gets removed. So let's say I rolled a 2, a 5, and a 6. If 6 would obviously be the highest value, anyone who has a 6 would remove their 6s, and then we'd score points. First person to 50 wins. So you're trying to You're trying to get a high score, but you're trying not to roll too high. You're trying to kind of guess how high you can roll, and to be safe, essentially. So it's kind of like it's a push your luck mechanism. With dice, there's a few things you can do with them, but push your luck is super fun. A sink or swim. A lot of these are 2 plus. A few of these take, I believe, more players, and I believe a lot of these go to 2 to 6 or just 2 to infinity, however many dice that you have, essentially. Sink or swim. Frenemies. I love the art in this one. And if you have a particular game that you have a question on, you can always freeze frame on this stream once the recording will go live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. We'll have recordings. If you have any questions on a particular, like, oh, I want to check out more on frenemies or something like that, you can always freeze frame on here, and the rules are all there. Malpractice. I completely skipped this page before, so I didn't actually see malpractice. Oh, that's awesome. One thing I did want to note as well, is this one? Yeah, this one's got a longer example, so that one's like a 3-pager. Most of them are about 2 pages. But each, in addition to having like the name and art and stuff, there's a really good example play here. So the rules are generally not super complicated for each of these games, but they still have a good example in case you are confused. That'll walk you through everything. So again, malpractice a little bit longer. I think that might be why I missed it, because it has a long example of play here. But it'll tell you how that one works there. Dragon Braggin', I love the art on this one. Another thing to note, some of these games do require paper to score on, so anything that's scoring to like 50. But again, adding paper and dice is pretty minimal when it comes to like an entire book of 20 games. So you don't need a ton for that. Even our Munchkin games require paper to score on, so that's not really something to super take into account. So this is one where we're taking 3 dice. Rolling. Actually, no, this is not the one I thought it was. Sorry, I should not explain it because I don't. This one I have not read yet. Sorry. Let's see. Oh yeah, you're trying to take down the dragon. So you're trying to you're rolling for a dragon, and then people are trying to take down the dragon. That's what that one was. I do recall that. Oh, this one just looks cool to me. Fnord dice. Oh, I guess this is a good time to mention Fnordcon is coming up. While we're on the Fnord dice page, so this weekend is going to be Fnordcon. If you haven't checked it out yet, I believe Jimmy, if you could link that in the comments. But our Fnordcon 2.3 is happening this Saturday, so only 2 days away. It's going to be an all-day event from 10 a.m. Central Standard. I believe it's 10 a.m. is our start time. He'll link the schedule. He'll have the official time, but I believe it starts at 9 or 10 a.m. And it'll be on Discord, and we'll be doing panels. We'll be playing games. You'll pretty much get to hang out with other people who are fans of SJGames stuff. Talk. A lot of it is really just talking and hanging out. Like, for what I do most of the day at Fnordcon is I hang out and chat with people. People get sneak peeks of stuff that we show off in panels. I'm doing a couple things personally. We'll be doing a Deadly Doodles game that evening, and that Deadly Doodles game will be the new Halloween map, which we have. It hasn't even come out yet. It'll be online in the next day or so. But this will be pretty much your first chance of getting to play with it. You get to print it out and play along with us. But we'll also be doing it on SJGames Live in the near future. Hopefully for maybe the Halloween week, we'll get to do that. It's a really harsh map. I like it. It's difficult. It's kind of like the Valentine's Day map. But we'll be playing that. Me and Phil will be doing a panel about new releases where we're going to hopefully be teasing some new stuff that we have not announced yet. I've teased it on the stream before, but we have not shown any of it off. I'll have some stuff to show off, hopefully. So stay tuned for that as well. But enough for my regularly scheduled Fnordcon 2.3 break. I guess we'll cut back to the game here. Fnord dice, yay or nay? This one's got the Roman look to it. I love that. I'm honestly I love the art that Lynn has done for this stuff. This is hilarious, turning dice into weird characters. This is a 2+ player games. Everyone starts with two dice on this one. So this one doesn't take as many dice generally. 6-sided Slayers. This is one of the party-based games. This is a 2 to 6 player one though. This one does have a cap on it. Runner Up. This is a 3+ player game, which is less common, but having a lot of 2-player games in there, this one will be a good multiplayer one. It does have a 2-player variant, but for sure with the amount of stuff that's in here for 2-player, this one was definitely a 3-player design. So I would recommend doing it as recommended in the book generally. We've got No Quarter. I believe this is this is just the 2-player game. So I don't know them all by name yet. This is you're a ship captain, and you're having a broadside battle with someone. So it's a 1-on-1. Your dice are representing ships, and you're trying to you're trying to like fight your opponent's ship also made of dice, and there's an aft, mid, and fore section that are all done by values, and essentially it's done by like ordering your crew, taking aim, and doing combat with them with the dice. It's got another one with a little bit longer explanation. Okay, is that working? Okay, is that working? Cool. No? Testing? Okay, sorry about that. Mic cut off for a second. How about now? How's that sound? Am I a robot?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I'm not a robot. Am I live again?
Yes.
Great. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I apparently turned into a robot there for a moment. We switched out mics. So yeah, we. I don't know if you caught the explanation on that one. This is one that caught my eye because this is a 2-player only game. There are a couple of these in here, but a lot of them are like 2+. But you're essentially ship captains and your dice make up your ship, the fore, aft, and mid section of the ship, and you're doing combat against each other. So I got a little bit of a longer explanation here, but essentially you're trying to sink different sections of the ship. It's pretty cool. I like that. Skeet. This is a. Is this is I don't believe this is Dexterity. I think it is based on card game or something like that. Oh no, this one has playing cards in it. I believe this might be the Dexterity one. Player Slick, yeah, this is the Dexterity game. See, this requires playing cards. It really doesn't need, I guess, necessarily playing cards. It just needs a plain surface. But the playing cards help you do the setup. It makes it a lot easier. But yeah, it's a flicking dice game, and I love Dexterity games. I'm a huge fan of Dexterity stuff. So this is awesome. Our Mars Attacks the Dice game was one of my, or not Mars Attacks the Dice game. That's a fun game too. But Mars Attacks 10-minute Takedown. That's the one. That was a really fun flicking dice game. Deadly Dig. I didn't look at that one necessarily, but I love the kind of spooky art, especially in the season we're on. This is probably a good one to play with Halloween dice. Got a longer example here. Hexagon Train. This is, if you've ever played Dominoes, this is Mexican Train with dice. So it's kind of converted to use with any set of dice. Obviously, it plays a little bit different because it's dice based, not domino based, but it functions very similarly if you've played Mexican Train before. Another cool way of using dice, like classic games that you can kind of convert to use with a bag of dice, which might be easier to carry around honestly than a lot of dominoes. Some of those domino sets can get kind of large. Three-legged race, another one I haven't technically taken a look at there. 2+ player. This is one of the 3 dice games though, where you use 3d6s. Backhand. This is another 2-player game. You get 10 per person. This is another. This is a tennis-based game. Don't believe this is Dexterity though. I want to make sure. Choose a player. Each player. Da, 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 da. Yeah, this is a roll 3 dice type of game. It's not Dexterity one. I think that one and the Skeet were the 2 I was mixing up. What is Unreliable Flying Object? That is creepy looking but cool. It looks really weird. I don't know why. I think it's tryptophobia or trichtophobia, where holes in things mess with you a little bit. Like people look at something with like a cork board that has holes in it and they freak out. Something about these on the side are freaking me out. That's another 2+ player game there. Closing Bell. This is a stock market game, I want to say. Yes, this is a stock market game, and you're investing dice to score points. There's obviously more to these, but yeah, it's a stock market game. Kind of like I want to say it sounded a little like Pit, but with dice, which is pretty cool. I like classic stock market games. Excuse me. Let's see. Capsize. So we have a second boat one here, but it's a little bit different. This one uses a deck of cards as well. And it's not for just 2 players. This is less like a combat game and more like you're loading boats with dice amounts and essentially shipping them. So it's like more. It's less like you're captaining like a combat ship and more like shipping vessels and getting stuff for goods, which is pretty cool. This is one of the more detailed ones, but it functions almost like a strategy game versus a more luck-based game. Although it does involve dice. This is probably the longest of the rules in there. Participation award. I did not catch this one. This is awesome art. I want to steal. Like we need a showed up trophy in real life. The one in first and showed up. One of the longer ones there as well. Liquid Courage. I guess it's a good time to mention. This is a good bar game. All you need is dice and a book. And it's literally, if I could say one thing about all our dice games, it's stuff that you can break out at a bar or at an event. Something they're very easy to carry with you. The dice are easily transportable. Again, I mentioned the gelatinous. I'll mention it again. It comes with the dice bag. All this fits in here very easily, and this bag tightens up to a really small section, so it's not like you're not lugging a lot around. You've just got a bag of 40 dice, which is enough to play pretty much anything in the book, like that I can think of offhand. I don't think there's a lot that requires more than that. Duello. This is a 2-player game, a dueling game. We've got Leftovers. Oh, that's cute. I like that. This is another 2-player only game, and this takes 9 each. Purple. I read that as Pupper. Purple Meeple Eater. Does this one take meeples? I don't think it does. I want to say 6. Yeah, it's just dice. So it's no meeples in this, but it does. You do get a mention of meeples. So this is like a fighting a monster type thing again. But you're fighting the Purple Meeple Eater, which is definitely not Godzilla. And then about the author, which I was gonna say that's not a game. This is Sam. This is another. It's kind of like the forward. It's about Randy and Sam have been working on that with Phil, and then you've got a list of customize your game. So this is actually pretty cool. This shows off some of the stuff that I didn't get to mention before that I didn't have examples of here. But it shows a lot of our D6 options that we have as of the printing of the book. So we've got like the Army Men D6 dice, Cthulhu D6 dice, Deadly Doodles dice set. These are in the expansion for Deadly Doodles and also in standalone packs that you can get. Dragon D6 dice, Dungeon Encounters dice, the Easter set, Halloween dice, which is my personal favorite. I'm going to pull them back on screen for one more second because I love them so much. The Hex dice, which again just released. The Illuminati dice, I believe. Actually, I should check. Nope, these are just the ones. So we do have Illuminati dice in the campaign, though. The Kitten D6 dice, which we're getting a new set of D6 dice for those. Meeple D6, which also come in the rainbow variety, which are awesome. The Puppy D6 dice, the Ray Gun D6 dice, Robots, Rockets, the Skull, and the Snowflake. And I want to say either all of those or almost all of those are in the campaign right now. So you can actually get pretty much everything there available in the campaign. And there's the back cover there for you, for anyone interested. And that is the Random Fun Generator. So guys, again, I didn't want to I don't want to spoil every game in the book, and I haven't even had a chance to. There's a ton of games. It's 20 games. Like, normally when I unbox something, I'm like, cool, I can learn how to play zombie dice, and I'm good to go. Couldn't learn how to play 20 games at one time, unfortunately. And plus, this is actually, I know, Jimmy, I'm sorry. I couldn't do it for you. I'll explain them to you after the stream. But this is actually the first time I'm getting to see the book as well. We just got this in the last few days, so this is brand new for us. I'm really excited. This campaign's doing extremely well for us. I was expecting a good amount of people, but we have even more than I was expecting. Honestly, we're almost at 2,000 backers. I want to thank everybody for participating in the campaign. It's been a blast. I'm so happy that people are enjoying this type of content. We're not just we're getting to do something a little bit different. It's instead of doing just one game, we're getting to do like 20 cool smaller games. Plus, we want to do something in this time when people aren't able to necessarily go out and buy a ton of games. You might only have a budget for one or two games every now and then. You're able to get a lot of value out of one book. You're able to get something for, technically the book itself is only $15. You can get the book and you have 20 games. All you need to do is add dice yourself, which is generally a component that's around. And if you don't have dice, we have really affordable sets of dice that you can get for extremely cheap. Gelatinous is not very expensive. Multiple sets of the D6 dice they're all under $10 for the most part. Like you're able to get a lot of that stuff. Plus, if you want to back at something like the $36 level or the $42 level, you automatically get a ton of dice because we're unlocking stretch goals to add more dice to those reward levels. So you'll get the book, you'll get an additional set of dice. Like right now, I think you're at something like 5 extra sets of dice at those reward levels. Plus, you'll get coasters if we can unlock those, which it looks like, hopefully, crossing our fingers, we will be able to unlock the coasters as well. It's looking likely. And who knows? We might be able to add some stuff after that. Phil's got some plans for the campaign. He keeps it close to the vest. But as he's coming up with stuff or he's revealing stuff, we're kind of learning it as well. So he's got secrets and stuff planned for more of that stuff. But it's going really well. I want to thank you guys for supporting. If you haven't checked it out, definitely check out Random Fun Generator. It's available now. You can check out all the additional dice, and if you don't want, for some reason, you don't want the book itself, these dice and games are also available on Warehouse 23 right now as well. Those dice sets are available on our website. We got some new releases coming up. Again, I want to mention Fnordcon 2.3 this Saturday at 10. I'm not going to even say 10 a.m. It's 9 or 10 a.m. We're going to be starting around the time. I think doors will open at 9 a.m., so you'll be able to get into our Discord server around that time, and then first event's actually going to be at 10. So keep an eye out for that. Tons of new stuff. Obviously, we have great panels. I believe our Fantasy Strip team is going to be doing stuff. GURPS teams there. Pretty much GURPS RPGs. Steve's going to be there. Eric Lang, who's obviously designer of... He co-designed the Munchkin CCG. He's designed a ton of stuff. Blood Rage. A lot of stuff with Cool Minion or Simon. And a lot of stuff with other people. He did Munchkin Dungeons. He's one of our guests of honor at the show. So he'll be in some panels. I'll be in some panels. I'll be hosting games. Jimmy's hosting panels. Everybody's doing stuff. And just generally, just hang out and have a good time with us. It's fun. Just hang out on the server, talk games, hang out. It's a blast. We have a lot of fun with that. But guys, thank you for checking out this unboxing. I guess I can't really call it an unboxing, a book opening of Random Fun Generator. Back it if you get a chance. I'll see you Saturday at Fnordcon, and I'll see you in the next episode of SJGames Live.